Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have something that's actually not a dinosaur, but is kind of prehistoric in a way if you follow along with the films, even though they're not actual creatures. Then we have some Tremors figures, and yes, that is very exciting if you ask me. It seems like out of nowhere we're getting awesome stuff when it comes to Tremors, whether it's these, which are by Takara Tomy, or the amazing Arctic Figures Tremors figures. I am all in when it comes to anything Tremors related. I love that film. I always have. I love all of the films, even though they just get cheesier and cheesier as they go. I still love them, and I am beyond excited to actually have some Tremors stuff here to take a look at with you guys. And as you can see, they're in these kind of like little capsule things, and they're not opened up quite yet, so I saved the moment of opening them for this video with you guys so that I can kind of check them out. Wow, these are complicated to open up. Check them out with you guys. I don't know if I'm just stupid. Oh yeah, I am just stupid. Okay, so there we go, and immediately you can see that the figure, first of all, needs to be put together, but wow, that actually looks super nice. That definitely looks gorgeous, but we'll go ahead and lay that over there, and then open. Oh, stupid tape. We'll open this one up once I get this tape off of it. There we go. And now we've got ourselves, I believe, a Shrieker in here. And it actually looks really good. Like, the paintwork looks shockingly really good for being something from Takara Tomy, which their paintwork is usually not terrible, but it looks like it's normally like the basic type of paintwork from Takara Tomy. But these actually look like they put a little more effort into them when it comes to the paint apps. So let's hope so. And then we've got ourselves what I think might be, an egg maybe, I'm not too sure. We're going to have to, again, check that out here in a moment. It's kind of hard to see it through the little plastic bag there. And then we've got ourselves, I would imagine, the Graboid itself, which somehow ended up being the last one that I opened. And this one doesn't want to open. There we go. Oh, the Graboid's actually pretty big. So we now have them all out, so I'm going to stop the camera here just for a moment, and then we're going to put them all together really quick, and then we'll come back and check them out from there. So we've got quite a few figures here before us. We also have this little booklet here that kind of shows us some stuff, and it's unfortunately not possible for me to read it, but it's got some information and everything, some images basically showing us what's included. But as far as the figures themselves go, we have quite a few here, and what I actually like straight away is the fact that with our actual Graboid, you have the option of, first of all, having the Graboid complete like you see here. You can also have the Graboid coming up out of the ground like you can see over here to our left. You've got a little part of the Graboid kind of exiting the ground. You also have the mouth that you can have closed or the mouth open with the actual tentacles hanging out. So there's definitely a lot of different options that you have there for your Graboid. I would have actually liked to have had the Graboid coming out of the ground as well as the full Graboid, but I think unfortunately I would have to purchase another set just to get another Graboid, and not going to do that because this set was actually like 40 bucks. But you've also got a few others, like we've got the Ass Blaster as well as the Shrieker, and I forget exactly what this one was called. I don't really remember what the name of it was, unfortunately, because I am horribly forgetful, but we definitely have some really cool figures here, so let's jump to a closer look at all of them right now. So the star of the show for most people would of course be the Graboid, so I chose to go with the Graboid first, and you can see that as far as the actual detailing goes, this thing is just off the charts. They actually sculpted out an incredible amount of detail on the Graboid, and you can see that the actual texturing and everything looks great throughout. You have all of the little tiny like legs that kind of push our Graboid along. I'm not sure exactly what those are called, but we do have those all sculpted out as well, and the detail is extremely vibrant, and on top of that, the paint job they've given it is super realistic, like so much better than I ever would have imagined for a Takara Tomy release. The paintwork, of course, has that really nice kind of a blackish tone, but you can see that that kind of dirty look that the Graboids have in the films is really nicely captured by that kind of like tan that creeps in and out of all of the skin texture, and it looks honestly phenomenal. Really smooth transition as we transition down here to the underside, and you can even see that there is color variation for the underside of the Graboid. And if that's not enough, you can see as the mouth is open, you've got more of that kind of tan there, perfectly creeping in and out of the mouth of our Graboid. And then when you come to the front and you actually take a look at it with the tentacles hanging out, first of all, the sculpting and detailing of the tentacles is phenomenal, but you can also see, if my camera would focus on it, that the inside of the mouth has a nice gloss coat, helping it to look a little bit more realistic, as well as kind of like a bloody-like look in there, and some very nice paintwork. And you can see that the tongues themselves, the tentacles themselves, also sport some really nice color variation with pinks and reds, and it looks super realistic, super lifelike. They've even painted out the blacks there on the tips of the, I guess you could see kind of like the head, and you can see the teeth and everything are painted on the inside of the tentacles. So again, just incredible paintwork for something from Takara Tomy. And getting a look here at the lower part of the mouth, it also looks incredible from the inside. I'm honestly in complete awe. At first, when I had seen these online, I was like, well, you know, they look really awesome, but will the paintwork of a Takara Tomy figure actually show up looking that good? Well, I can tell you that it does, because this looks, again, as realistic and as beautiful as it can possibly get for a Takara Tomy release. Now, the figure was actually in 3 pieces. Well, actually more than that. You got a piece here that separates, and it's actually kind of a, well, first of all, I gotta push that on there, but it's kind of well hidden. Like, once you come up here, you don't see the seams so well, so that is a plus for the Graboid. But you also have the mouth, the top part goes in, the lower part goes in, and the tongues, they're all separate, so you have 3 different pieces there with the Graboid as far as this particular version. However, you can take it apart, and then you would have this piece. Now, this piece would then be the lower jaw for our Graboid, and this is what you would want to use if you want the Graboid to have its mouth entirely, well, I mean, as closed as it can get for a Graboid. You can see the sculpting as well as the paintwork of this as well looks beautiful, so you can have the closed mouth version if you use that. And then you also have the area here of the earth, as well as part of the Graboid coming up out of the earth to, again, have a Graboid that's just burst out of the ground and clearly is attacking, and that as well looks great. The sculpt looks great, the paintwork and everything, even for the earthy area, looks really nice. I'm definitely going to have to throw the headpiece together on this as well at some point very soon. But you also have this, which I believe is like one of the sacks that our, I believe, the Shriekers would come from, and this as well is really beautifully painted and sculpted. Again, look at the detailing on this. It's so impressive to see what Takara Tomy is capable of when they put forth a little bit more effort than they do with, say, their Jurassic line, because these are honestly phenomenal as far as the sculpt and paint goes. We've also got this guy that, again, I forget the name of, unfortunately, but you can see that this is just as beautiful as everything else. They've also applied like a really nice light dry brushing to this to highlight some of the detail, and again, it is really lifelike. You can see the inside of the mouth there a little bit. It is just gorgeous yet again. Like, I'm so in awe, honestly, at how beautiful these are. And the texturing and everything looks great on this, just like it did on our Graboid. And then we get to the bipedal type of versions of our Graboid. So first of all, we've got our Shrieker. And yet again, look at that. That is just absolutely beautiful. The paintwork is so good on this. You could see actual variation of like browns included within the blacks and stuff. You've got those pinkish tones for those kind of sacks and stuff. You have a light gray for the underside. They've applied a really nice dark wash, and the sculpt and detail, again, looks incredible throughout. Like, they are super highly detailed, and they've even included a little gloss coat there for that area of the Shrieker where it lifts up to kind of search for heat signals, and the inside of the mouth as well looks great. Again, a nice gloss coat in there, helping to kind of give it some realism, but also kind of like a bloody look, and the sculpting and detailing looks really beautiful, honestly, in every area, and I love how they've even applied kind of like a nice dark wash to the head itself to very realistically highlight all of the texturing and detailing there. Like, to say I am impressed would be putting it mildly. Even the nails are painted with a nice glossy black, but I'm not only impressed, I am blown away by how good this set is. This is easily a 10 out of 10 set for me. One of the most impressive sets that I've had come along in a long time, especially when it comes to a Takara Tomy set. And then we've got ourselves the final piece of the puzzle, which would be the ass blaster, and you can see we have the wings kind of painted out very nicely, super smooth transition as well, and again, they've captured the likeness of this creature perfectly as well. You can see some nice dark washes applied to those really beautiful browns here of the underside. You can see more of those pinkish tones and stuff in the areas where they would be present. We've again got those painted nails, nice black painted nails, perfectly painted, no sloppiness. You even have some like slight pinks to the undersides of the feet. It's unfortunate that we can't get any kind of like articulation on it so that we can sort of like, bring the feet down to have it stand rather than flying, but I guess we already have the Shrieker that stands in the ass blaster's like most exciting feature, I guess, would be the fact that it kind of lets out a fiery fart and flies, but again, it is a really cool figure. Yet again, you also have a little stand for the ass blaster that you can kind of pose it on and have it displayed on like that and have it flying. So again, like I said, this is definitely a 10 out of 10 set for me. This set is honestly as beautiful as it gets from a Takara Tomy release, and easily the best Takara Tomy set that I have ever had the pleasure of checking out in person. Now, as far as a size goes for the figures, we're not going to measure each and every one. I can tell you they are quite small, but for like a length on our Graboid, you're looking at a little over 4 inches, approaching, I'd say probably around 4 1/4, maybe a little over if you include the length of the tentacles. For the Shrieker, you're looking at about 2 inches, about 5 centimeters. Actually, I should have gave you the centimeters for the Graboid. It's about 11 centimeters roughly, I would say, in length if you include the tentacles. And then for a height here on our ass blaster, about 2.5 inches or around 6.5 centimeters. So you can see they are pretty small, but insanely highly detailed and well painted for their size. But I think the one thing that's going to help show you the size a little better than anything else would be a size comparison, so let's do that. So there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line next to our Takara Tomy Tremors set. And you can see that they are really quite small, especially there in comparison to Muldoon, who is not a huge figure, being a 3 3/4 inch sized human being. You can definitely see that these guys are fairly small, and also that the set here is clearly not to scale with each other because the actual Graboid itself is massive compared to a Shrieker and an ass blaster and stuff, but you can definitely see again that they are on the smaller side, but man, are they impressive. Now, when it comes to Tremors figures, there aren't very many out there, so it's not like I have a lot to compare with these guys, so I decided to just bring in 2 more Mattel figures. You can again see that the Mattel Velociraptor and Dilophosaurus are both quite a bit larger than the Tremors figures. And then when it comes to Takara Tomy dinosaurs, you've got the Deinonychirus on the left, the Giganotosaurus to the right, and you can see that they are, without question, a similar size compared to your average Takara Tomy release. Obviously, the dinosaurs are a little bit larger, but they're all in that kind of minifigure size range that you kind of expect them to be. So this Takara Tomy Tremors set is absolutely awesome, and even though the figures are smaller at the I think it was around $40 price range that I paid for this, it is well worth it. And there's actually a set that's a little bit more expensive that has a more rare version of a Graboid in it as well. I didn't pick it up just because it was I think $30 more just to get that one extra. And even though I would really love to have it, I just felt like I wasn't sure how good these would be, and I didn't want to spend a massive amount of money, like, $75 or $80 or whatever it is, just to get one extra Graboid. But now I kind of wish that I had, because these have far exceeded my expectations by a mile. The sculpts of all of them are just beautiful, perfectly capturing the likeness of every one of the creatures that they have set out to give us here. And every one, again, not only is it sculpted perfectly as far as the appearance goes, but the fine detail is incredible on all of these. It really has not only picture-perfect detail, but extremely vibrant detail and a massive amount of it. There is a lot of really, really fine, very small details that you honestly need to just pick the figure up in a nice light and kind of look over it to really take notice to and appreciate all of the amazing detail that is included in this set of Tremors figures. And not only that, but the paintwork is unreal for a Takara Tomy release after you spend so many years getting the dinosaurs from them, because that's what I've done. I've been collecting the Takara Tomy dinosaurs for years now at this point, even prior to the Jurassic World line. So I'm very kind of accustomed to a cheapness to the paintwork of Takara Tomy releases, but that is not at all the case with these. And I don't know if that's something that is common with Takara Tomy when it comes to like special releases and stuff, and maybe I'm just not familiar with it. But these are phenomenal when it comes to the paintwork, like next level for Takara Tomy. They've perfectly captured the paintwork and the appearance of the creatures when it comes to the paintwork, and not only that, again, applied so much variation of color to make sure that they look as lifelike and as high quality as possible. Honestly, I think the only thing that could have potentially improved these would have been maybe a little bit of articulation, but even excluding that, each and every figure here, in my opinion, is pretty much a masterpiece from Takara Tomy. So if you are interested in picking this up, I will include a link in the description to where you can do that on eBay. Unfortunately, that's where I purchased mine. Definitely going to be a little pricier on there. I think maybe you could probably contact Brett and Wes that I speak of often when it comes to different figures from Japan, and they might be able to get the sets a little cheaper from them. So I will include a link to the actual set on eBay. I will also include a link to Brett and Wes as far as their email address down in the description so that you can contact them if you'd like to try to get a little bit cheaper. One way or another, definitely worth picking up if you are a Tremors fan. Honestly, it is a must-have, so make sure you grab this set and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.